which just breaks her even more in Arena. She took Arena when she came out and just snapped it over her leg, like Bane breaking Batman's back. All right, guys, it is Christmas Day evening. Right now it is 7:45 p.m. So I want to make this video. I have to make this video, but I figured let's keep it pretty casual, pretty jovial. We have to talk about it. This banner right here with Rivenhald and VALARA is just god tier. I believe it's probably the second best banner we've ever had for Ancient Summoning. The best banner was this anniversary when they ran Ingrid along with VALARA for the first time ever. So it was the second time they ever ran Ingrid, and it was the first time ever they ran VALARA. It was her introduction to the game. Frankly, those are the two best DPS units in the game. VALARA is either the best or second best non-lord in the game. It depends if you're talking about support or DPS, and Ingrid is the best lord in the game. They ran those two together. That was the best banner ever. However, after that, I think this is the second best banner ever. So should you summon? Yes. We will get into it, but it's going to be pretty brief because I do think this is a bit of a no-brainer. We are going to do some fun stuff. We'll talk a bit about Rivenhald at the end. Not too much, though, because I've talked about him so much in so many videos and streams lately. But I want to kick it off when we get into that discussion with VALARA and kind of highlight all the things people, I don't want to say forget about, but let slip in their mind because they're so focused on how good her damage is, which is mind-numbingly good. It's mind-blowingly good. It's crazy. But I figure we can highlight all the other crazy things she does. But basically, after that Ingrid and VALARA banner, I think this is the next best. Reason number one, VALARA's comeback. VALARA is the most coveted non-lord unit in the game and most coveted non-lord ancient in the game. She is so hard to get, just like every other non-lord ancient exclusive hero in this game when she's not on rate up. And this is her second run. This is her reintroduction. This is the second time we've had her on a banner. The first time we did know she would be cracked. I made a bunch of videos about it leading up to her banner and then after her banner where I talked about exactly how strong she was. I said she had potential to be the strongest DPS in the game. I did a solo DPS run with her before her banner came out on the test server where she was in tier 1 gear and she easily cleared that. It was obvious she was super, super strong and we knew she could change the game. But even though we knew it, once she arrived, she did change the game. Like, without a doubt, she became the most sought-after unit in the game. She has some of the most important awakenings in the game. She's so good, it is ridiculous. I don't think anyone anticipated how much she would snap this game in half. In PvP, there are two kinds of players, those with VALARA and those without VALARA. And then her prowess and supremacy still extends into basically every PvE mode where you need any magic damage and or any AoE damage. I mean, she is nuts. So that's the first reason. The fact that she's coming back immediately, this would be like a top 5 ancient banner of all time, if not higher. But the fact that she's not paired with some throwaway lord, but a new, very important lord in Rivenhald elevates this. Rivenhald is an excellent support. He is a good lord, and he just brings so much together on the battlefield as a hero. He is so unique. So at this moment, he's going to serve as a very, very, very high-end inspiration unit. It depends on the content, but he's going to be on par with Diao Chan. It really comes down to what you're fighting in. Do you need a low-cost unit? Do you need a Watcher or an Infernal? Or do you need someone without a faction or maybe a Northerner and cost is less of an issue? Then it's going to be Rivenhald. So for a lot of boss content, people are going to choose Rivenhald. He is going to be the new meta in Matrix Spellbane, for example, over Diao Chan. For other content like Arena, it's going to be Diao Chan. He's that good as an inspiration unit. And then for support, he brings so much more than people are giving him credit for that we'll talk about later on. But basically, because he is amazing and could be OP, we'll have to see how the game develops around him and what new content comes. It really seems like besides the Spellbane side of Matrix, he is mostly designed for content that doesn't exist yet. That doesn't mean he won't excel in the current content, but I feel like he's going to fill a niche that doesn't exist yet, right? He's going to fill a hole we didn't know needed filling because some content's going to come or a harder version of current content's going to come where you need inspiration and Northerners and shields all in one place. And he obviously is going to dominate that. So he's just amazing. This banner's crazy. I think he has potential to be a top 5, maybe even top 3. It depends how the game changes. Legendary Ancient Exclusive Lord or Legendary Lord period. At a minimum, as he enters the game, he's going to be like a top 8 Lord. So that's pretty important, and he's brand new. So we all want to go get a copy. Now, as we break down Valara, this is going to be a lot of fun, and this is going to be quick. I do want to address the elephant in the room, and that is Khadgrim and Ingrid. Khadgrim and Ingrid are coming up on Raid Up in, I believe, exactly 6 days. Yeah, on New Year's Day. Actually, exactly a week. On New Year's Day, they're coming up on Raid Up. That's extremely exciting. If you don't have Ingrid, I think you should skip this banner. So should you summon? Yes, but big caveat, if you don't have Ingrid, I think you should skip it. However, if you have Ingrid, but you don't have Valara, I would probably summon on this banner because Rivenhald is so good and Valara is so broken. Yes, I know that's kind of spitting in the face of the sentiment that you really need A3 Ingrid, and that is true, but A0, A1, A2 Ingrid will last you for a while, and you can slowly get all your perfect soul stones together for her. Maybe you get lucky in the future, you get really good soul stone drops, or you get another copy of Ingrid. But getting that base copy of Ingrid is the top priority, and then afterwards, it's getting that base copy of Valara. So that had to be addressed. Additionally, I will say Khadgrim is very exciting. I think in a ton of content, he will immediately enter the game and become the best tank. But he's a tank. This is Valara. So there you go. That's just how I feel. So if you don't have Ingrid, you should skip this banner or summon very sparingly on this banner. If you do have her, but you don't have Valara, go for this. If you have both, evaluate the awakenings. In my opinion, A3 Ingrid is by far more important than A1 or A3 Valara. But Valara at A1, A3, A5 is crazy. So let's actually get into the kit now. A lot of people think about Valara and they think broken AoE DPS. And that is probably underselling it. She is more than broken. She is so strong, it is ridiculous. At this moment, she is the only tactician in the game that can be deployed on platform tiles. It seems, based on all the other tacticians in this game, tacticians can only be melee units, at least at this moment. But she is both. She can be a melee unit like every other tactician, and then when you displace her, when you move her, as you move a tactician, that's like their key feature as a class, you can move her to platform tiles. So when she's on a platform tile, effectively, she is probably the second best mage in the game, maybe first best. It's between her and A3 Ingrid. And then when she's on a melee tile, she is the best AoE DPS in the game, full stop. And she's the best AoE magic damage dealer in the game. She's just crazy. Her and Ingrid are on a whole nother level. So she functionally is like the best AoE fighter and then the best or second best mage. If you need magic damage, she is so broken good. It's so crazy. You really can't overstate it. She's in 2 phenomenal factions as well. I think a lot of people sleep on her as an esotericist because you see a lot of endgame content where she's an arbiter, but she's phenomenal in both. Maybe sleep on's an exaggeration. Everyone knows, obviously, but I wanted to point that out. But okay, we got the factions out of the way and we got the insane damage out of the way. Other things people forget. She's invisible. Until she ults for the first time, she is invisible. So that is pretty clutch in a lot of content, especially on younger accounts that are still progressing through things like Void Rift and Gear Raid 3 and so on and so on. That is really, really, really cool. She has very good and constant slows. All of her direct damage puts a slow out. It's a baby version of a slow. It's only minus 25% movement speed, but boy, it's a slow. That enables all the crowd control boosted effects from things like variant gear and cultists and so on and so on. That's very important. She also very consistently, AoE, puts out multiple stacks of Radiant Erosion. Radiant Erosion is so good. It's one of the best marks in the game, one of the best damage over time effects in the game. This is continuous true damage scaling off of the enemy's defense. It's super powerful. Effectively, the way she does it, it is AoE true damage over time. I think people also sleep on that. Let's quickly go to the ultimate now. On the ultimate, those weak slows become pretty respectable slows. She does a minus 50% movement speed slow. The strongest is minus 75, but this obviously still is good. The effect is twice as strong as her base level slow. I think people forget about that. Now, very, very important, the most, I think, hidden thing in her kit. I mean, I don't want to act like these are like unknown things. Obviously, tons of people know it, but because she's such a good DPS, a lot of people just put her down and press the button because she just goes boom. But there's so many little things in her kit. She puts out probably the best magic resurrection AoE in this game. I mean, this is crazy. Every 15 seconds when this is skilled, she's doing a huge AoE hit, pushing back 10 enemy targets and inflicting a 10-second magic res reduction on them. This is a 10-second magic defense break. And she's going to do this every 15 seconds, and it lasts for 10 seconds. So this is 2/3 uptime AoE on the biggest version of a magic res reduction. We don't see higher than 30%. This is crazy. Also, whenever she triggers this, it's a guaranteed AoE Radiant Erosion, and it's hitting 10 enemy targets, as opposed to her normal basic attacks, which hit 5. Her ultimate, by the way, here's another thing. It's pretty long. It lasts 20 seconds, and for all those 20 seconds, she can now hit 10 targets as well, and the attacks are enhanced. That's kind of why she hits so hard. That's why she's so good. All in all, the kit is just busted, but wait, there's one more thing before we go to Awakenings. This. Once you get Moradin, I hope everyone gets a copy of Moradin eventually, or maybe you already have him, her deployment cost the first time is reduced by 5. So her cost becomes 12. Her base cost already is way too low at 17. For how good she is, her cost should be like 25, but it's 17. This brings it down to 12, which just breaks her even more in Arena. She took Arena when she came out and just snapped it over her leg, like Bane breaking Batman's back. It's ridiculous. Finally, with this, if you get Moradin, when she ults, if there are no enemies in range, so like you moved her or something, she's just getting rage back constantly. So you can kind of move her at your leisure if there are no enemies nearby, and by the time they come back around, she's ready to go again. So she can ult or move again or whatever. This is insane for Malric. She's the best Malric unit in the entire game. She's so nuts. Now for the Awakenings, I have her A0. I hope that changes tomorrow, or maybe you're watching this the day her banner starts. I hope it changes today. Depends on, yeah, I don't care when it happens. I just hope that changes because I want more copies. But I've had her A0 since she came out. She has been one of the absolute MVPs. So don't think you need Awakenings. They do take her to another level, but you don't need them. So when you have her A1, every single time a unit enters her attack range, she inflicts a stack of Radiant Erosion upon them. That is huge because it's more damage that they're going to take. But also, the second part of this Awakening, when she attacks targets under Radiant Erosion inflicted by this dot, she's going to ignore 25% more of the magic resistance. So she's shredding another 25%, include the magic res reduction from her talent. That's already 30%. So now as a baseline, once you have her A1, a lot of the time, like half the time to 2/3 of the time, she's ignoring 55% of all targets' magic defense. Now the A3 is really cool for survivability. She ignores the first instance of damage that she takes when she ults, and then for the next 5 seconds, all incoming damage is cut in half. This can be clutch in stuff like GVG, potentially future content as well for tanking, and this is amazing in Malric, but I don't think this one is like completely crazy. The A5 kind of is though, because if you read this, it sounds like, oh, sometimes she deals 20% increased damage. No, she always deals 20% increased damage because all her damage inflicts at least some version of slow upon targets. So they're always crowd controlled. Everyone she hits is always crowd controlled, so she always deals 20% increased damage. Unless they add something that makes units immune to slow, which doesn't currently exist in this game, at least in any normal place I can think of. Maybe there's some Malric rune condition I don't know about. But basically, this is just a 20% damage boost on everything. Best part about her, though, with the Awakenings, the A1 is the best part. So, crazy. She's worth every ounce of hype I can give to her. Anyone has given about her. Everyone will give about her. She is her and Ingrid are the queens of the game. Now for Rivenhald, when he's ulting, he is the best inspiration in the game. That's awesome, but too many people are sleeping on this passive right here. Shields aren't such a thing right now in the game, but clearly the developers are trying to make that happen, and the shields he puts out are huge. He's putting out shields of about 15k to 20k. It's not insane, but it is really, really good, and the duration is insane. Because when he's skilled up, it's going to be 20 seconds. It's a fairly low ult cost at 800, and he's putting out pretty beefy shields that last 20 seconds. If you combine him with one more shielder, he's taken to a whole nother level. Because when he heals with his basic attacks, every single one of those heals, as long as a unit stays shielded, will lead to a max HP increase, and this can stack 6 times, up to a 30% increase in max HP. That's to everyone surrounding him. The kit is really, really nice. There's a lot more unique things here. We could go over the Bond skill. We could go over the Lord skill. You should watch my guides on him. I explain all of this. But just know he's a very strong Lord with potential to be OP in a lot of content. So the fact that he's with the Queen, VALARA, this banner is hard to skip. If you guys have any specific questions or concerns or comments, let me know below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and give the video a big thumbs up. Tomorrow morning, we are doing a pulse party. Maybe it's already today. Again, I don't know where you guys are. I don't know when you're watching this video. But at noon Eastern time, 6 p.m. Central European time, we're going to be right here on YouTube pulling for like a dozen accounts. Maybe it's even more by now. I'm not sure. But we're going all in. And at the end of all of that, I'm going to do my pulls too. Should be really fun. Thank you so much for watching. Share with your mother. I've been Fastidious, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.